And then when I was 18, I started working for this company more full-time and eventually learned really the ropes of what it was that they did to be able to run their company completely online. And I learned from that and started my own business. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now my goal is that after this video is to teach you guys what are the basics of starting a freelance business online. Now if this is your guys' first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run my own executive assistant agency to XU here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday on how to work from home and every Thursday on how to have an online business. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Starting a business is a huge topic. So I'm going to break down this video into 3 different parts. First part is ask, second part is do, and the last part is build. Now when I was 15 years old, I had no idea that I would end up running my own agency, and it did start with me being my own employee. So when I was 15 years old, I was doing writing gigs, and then it turned to graphic gigs, it turned to video editing gigs, and then when I was 18, I started working for this company more full-time and eventually learned really the ropes of what it was that they did to be able to run their company completely online. And I learned from that and started my own business. So I'm going to dive into what are the things that I wish that I knew when I did that, and what are the mistakes that you guys can skip that I made. So the first part, like I said, is ask. Now this is going to contain questions that you need to answer within yourself. The first one is why. It's really important that you ask yourself, why are you starting this business in the first place? It could be that you're trying to look for another mode of income or source of income. It could be that you're right now working and you just want a side gig that you can do. It could be that you are a student. You know, it's summer right now, or we're all at home anyway, so you want to earn a little bit more money, or you want to start this yourself. You want to ask yourself, why is this something that I want to do? One of the exercises that I do with my students when they're thinking of starting their own business is you want to set a goal. Now I have a whole video on how I create or produce my own goals that you guys can check out right here. But basically you want to start with creating what is called your big, hairy, audacious goal. What is a goal that sounds so ridiculous if you're going to be talking to other people about it, but to you makes perfect sense? So for example, for me, my big, hairy, audacious goal is to start an agency in New York to be able to hire Filipinos for them to be able to work from home. So that's my big, hairy, audacious goal. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start 2XU, is so I can go towards that goal. It doesn't have to be right away this big amazing goal. It can start small. Like for me, what started small was I just wanted my own service business, and it kind of evolved on its own just like that until I had my big, hairy, audacious goal. So your goal could just be literally to pay off your bills, or your goal could be to be able to save up enough to buy a new laptop. Start small and simple, but you want to start already thinking like, what is kind of the long-term goal of what it is that I'm doing? Because one of the things that will happen is that you will fail. There will be days where you want to give up, where you're questioning yourself, why did you do this in the first place? I myself, even when I've been starting this YouTube channel on the side with 2XU, I was like, why am I doing this YouTube channel in the first place? Especially before I got monetized. So you really need that long-term goal. Now, for the YouTube channel, for example, it connects with my goal of helping Filipinos how to work from home with having an agency in New York. So it kind of really still connects, so it makes sense, and it motivates me, it pushes me to keep going even on days where I don't want to, because business honestly is going to be one of the hardest things that you'll ever have to do, because starting a business honestly is not one of the easiest things. But if you have something that pulls you forward, if you have something that pushes you every day, then it's just going to make it easier. It's going to get you excited and motivated to get to your business. Next is you want to ask yourself, who am I working for? Who are the types of people that I want to work with on my business? And you guys can watch my video on how to find your niche or the people that you're looking for to work online, which you guys can check out right here. But basically, you want to find the audience that you want to serve. Now, whether you are starting a service business or a product-based business, you want to figure out who it is that you're talking to. You want to figure out like who are the types of people that you want to be able to email every day or talk to every day. You want to figure out who are the types of people who need what I have, which brings me to the next question that you have to ask yourself, which is, what is the problem that I'm solving for these people? When it comes to having a business, you're usually starting a business to solve a problem someone has, to alleviate someone else's pain or problem. So for example, for 2XU, the pain or problem that I'm trying to remove, the problem that I'm trying to solve, is a lot of solopreneurs or small business owners are struggling to scale their business, because then they only have, so many hours in a week. That's why they need an executive assistant to be able to handle a lot of the growing pains that happens when you're trying to scale. So So that is the problem that 2XU solves. Now, I've had other businesses as well. I used to have a book subscription business where I provided, book recommendations, and I provided a lot of really cute stuff for people. And the problem that I was trying to solve is people are bored. People need some sort of entertainment, or people need a way to kind of escape for a little bit through a book. So every business that has ever been started is solving some problem one way or the other. So you want to figure out, like, what is the problem that my business is solving for my target audience? Because once you have that, then the next question that you want to ask yourself is, what is the skill that I'm going to be doing? What is the service or the product that I'm going to be providing for my clients or my customers? And if you have no idea how to answer this question, then you want to ask, what is something that people usually ask me for advice or ask me to do? So for example, for me, when I started out as a writer, it was super easy to kind of decide that because one, I liked writing, and two, people kept asking me for advice on how to write. People kept asking me to write like our group projects. So it was something that came easily to me. And when I started 2XU, a lot of people were asking my advice on how to hire and manage their own VAs. So again, it was easy for me to shift into that. So try to observe, try to ask yourself these questions of, what are the things that people ask me for advice for? And the last what that you have to ask yourself is, what is the value of the solution that I'm bringing to these people? So then you can price yourself. And there's a whole video that I've done already on how to price yourself that you guys can check out right here. But basically, you want to know what is the pricing structure that you want to go with. So, some people charge hourly, some people have packages, some people have something that is retainers. Every month, people just keep paying them, or just going full time and working with someone. So you want to figure out like how you want to structure your pricing. So of course you can get paid. Now the next section is the do, or take action section. So basically, one of the first things that you want to do after you've asked yourself those questions is create what is called a minimum viable product, or usually call it MVP. So basically what that means is you want to create a small test to see that people want this, to see that this is something that people need or would want to pay for. And how you do this is, there's a lot of different ways. One is doing what usually is called discovery calls. Now, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be diving into more on how to do sales online. So again, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss those videos. But you want to do discovery calls to be able to get you're doing a live survey of someone to see if your service is something that they will pay for. So once you have your audience, you want to talk to someone who is already using a service similar to yours and asking them like, hey, how did you decide that you wanted the service? How did you get to the point where you needed the service? That way you have a clear path view of who it is you're trying to target when they're at that decision point of wanting to hire someone who has your services or your product. Next is actually just doing a small test. So how you do this is trying to find people who are already hiring for this, going through sites like onlinejobs.ph, which you guys can check out the video right here. You guys can also post on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, so many other places that you are starting out as a freelancer, as a writer, as a virtual assistant, and you're looking for work. You're just putting yourself out there. You're marketing yourself because that's one of the easiest ways that you'll see like, oh, this is something that I can do. A lot of people really debate when to start working as a freelancer, but usually my advice is just to start, to just do it. Find your first, at least you just need one client to believe in you, to hire you, to get this whole process started. So that's what I mean by having a minimum viable product, where you're doing this small test to see again if this is something that people actually want or need in their business. Next thing that you need to do is to build your portfolio. Now this will depend a lot on what skill or what product you're trying to sell, but you want to, as much as possible, just basically document your works. If you are a writer, you're a graphic artist, you're someone who does something visual, then you want to make sure that you file out all of your outputs. You file out the things that you've been able to do for past clients, or even the things that you did yourself. So for example, for me, one of the first things that I put on my portfolio was articles that I did, essays that I just wrote out myself, and even the short stories that I used to write. So you can even put in your portfolio things that you did for yourself, just for fun, just because it was a prompt or you were inspired one day. You can put that on your portfolio. One of the other things that you can put in your portfolio are testimonials. When people start praising you for your work, whether it's free or paid, you can put that on your portfolio. You can add it if you have your own website, you can add it there. You can create a whole Facebook album of just testimonials from your clients. That way, again, you're building up your own your assets of what it is that you can show to potential clients of like, hey, this is my past work. These are the people I've worked with before, and this is the service that I can provide you. Next thing that you need to do is track. Now, one of the things that I've made as a mistake when I was starting my own business is I didn't really track a lot of things, mostly because and I use this excuse a lot, there was too many moving parts. So what I mean by track is track your expenses, your income, and your results. You want to track those three, especially if you don't have a lot of business background. So what I mean by that is you want to make sure that you have a spreadsheet of the income that you've received, the expenses that went out, and the results that you're giving your clients. So for example, for me within 2XU, at that point, that was my fourth business that I started. I knew that I had to track those numbers. So I have a whole financial sheet. I also have a way where I'm asking our clients regularly of what are the results that their assistants are bringing because of the training that we give them. When I collect these results, I have something to show our future clients and our current clients to gain more confidence within our agency. And the last part about this is going to be the build. So there are three things that you need to keep building as you keep growing your freelance business. The first one is your brand. When it comes to you having a freelance business, you are the brand. You are selling yourself. You're selling your expertise, your skills, your experience. So you have to keep that in mind, that of course, if you're trying to sell something, you want to make sure that other people know that this is what you're selling. So this could be posting screenshots of the testimonials that you've collected. This could mean posting the works that you have done. So again, if you're a writer, make sure you're sharing your articles on Facebook or LinkedIn. If you are someone who's a graphic artist, make sure you're sharing this on Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest. So I have a whole video that you guys can check out on branding yourself. But basically, you want to make sure that other people know what it is that you do. You're building up that brand to be known as this blank girl. So for example, for me, I'm trying to build my brand as the outsourcing girl, that I'm someone who can talk to both freelancers and the clients about how to outsource or be outsourced online. Next is you want to build your standard operating procedure. Now, I know that's a long word and can be a little bit overwhelming when I first say it. So I really recommend that you guys check out my video on how to create standard operating procedures right here. But basically, when you create SOPs, you are creating the recipe of your success. You are mapping out what it is that you do so you can create it repeatedly with the same results over and over again. And also, one of the things that you do have to realize if you're starting your own business is later on, you will need to hire other people to help you with the load. You'll get to the point where you're now managing people and not doing the job yourself. So when you build out your SOPs, you're able to train them faster because you don't have to take them all step by step every time. And one of the last things that you have to build, but isn't the least, it's the most important thing you have to build, is yourself. You need to keep investing in yourself, whether it's your knowledge, it's your tools, and of course, your confidence. One of the things that will happen as you're starting out as a new business owner is that you might lose confidence from time to time of what it is that you're doing. One of the things that people usually face is something called the imposter syndrome, where they feel so at conflict of like, who am I to give these people these results? Or why do these people trust me when, I can barely really think for myself? These are things that will come up that are natural, that everyone goes through. That's why you need to also build not just your knowledge and your skills, you also have to build your own confidence within yourself that you can do this because you do got this. Now, let me know in the comments what kind of freelance business you guys are going to try out. I would love to know and be able to support you guys as well. Now, let me know also if you have any questions about it. I would love to dive into more in maybe future videos or maybe answer you guys' question on TikTok. Make sure to find me and follow. I give regular tips on how to work from home and how to have a business, so make sure to check it out. Now, if you guys haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday on how to work from home and every Thursday on how to have a business online. You guys can check out those playlists right here and the news video right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!